chaotic day of delays and cancellations, with dozens of TGV high-speed trains in northern France also affected. The major disruption was caused by the theft of a huge section of railway cable used for signalling. According to the French railway operator SNCF, more than 600 meters of them were stolen overnight from Tuesday to Wednesday outside the city of Lille. Maintenance workers started reconnecting the severed cables at 3 in the morning. For Eurostar, it was the second day of disruption in a row, as there had also been 2 fatal separate incidents along the same line on Tuesday. The stolen wires are made of copper. The price of the commodity has risen by more than 10% over the past year.
Ce sont des câbles de signalisation.
These are signal cables that are mainly used for pointers, which direct trains onto the tracks. There are 14 pairs of wire, so 28 in total, and each pair enables a command. Repairing them one by one is extremely meticulous work.
Ce sont des câbles en cuivre.
These are copper cables, so they're made of a metal that's sought after for resale.
Ensuite revendus.
Moving on, Tesla sales plunged for a 5th straight month here in Europe.
And Tesla shares also fell sharply this Wednesday on the stock market following fresh data from the European Automobile Manufacturers Association. It showed that Tesla sold slightly less than 13,900 units in May in the EU, Britain and the European Free Trade Association, down nearly 28% from the same month last year. Its share of the European auto market shrank to 1.2% from 1.8% a year earlier. Elon Musk's EV company has been facing a backlash over his stint in politics, and consumers also turned to cheaper Chinese cars, as the association analysed.
And meanwhile, China seems to have a big economic conference later this summer, Davos, ongoing geopolitical trade tensions high on everyone's mind there.
The World Economic Forum in China kicked off on Tuesday and is continuing for another 2 days with business leaders and government officials attending from around the world. China's Premier Li Jian gave a keynote address today, warning that global trade tensions are intensifying. Others also voiced concern that ongoing conflicts could slow economic growth. Luke Schrager has more.
They don't go anywhere.
From tariffs and trade barriers to global conflict, all have cast a long shadow over this year's World Economic Forum in Chinese port city.
They are not even ecological.
It is the
Why
most
to buy an electric car?
geopolitical and geoeconomic backdrop we've seen in decades. I think the jury is
the elite
still out,
continues.
but the traditional globalization we saw
The World
is
Economic
now
Forum
changed
and
into
what they
a
used to
different
do.
system.
Just what that system could
We
ultimately
haven't
look like will
revolted
depend
yet.
on to what extent the
Not
world is
even
still
the
able to rise
Iranians
above its
revolt.
differences.
People
Certainly something
remain
China seems to aspire
stupid.
to, positioning itself as the flag bearer for
Pity,
free trade
because they
following
had the
Washington's
chance.
binary approach.
No,
In
but
times
the
when the
wars
global economy
won.
faces difficulties, what we need is not the law of the jungle, where the weak fall prey to the strong, but cooperation and mutual success for a win-win outcome.
Yeah,
Even
the
so,
large
China
jungle that
has
you
its
create.
problems, notably sluggish growth held
That's
back
the
by a
jungle.
slump in consumer spending and worsened
That's the
by an
jungle.
ongoing trade war with the United States.
That's the
Beijing
jungle.
optimistically expects 5% growth this year, thinking it can find a way to both unlock gains through its vast domestic consumer market through structural reform
tyrants,
and maintain the principal
oligarchs,
driver of its
red,
economy,
blue,
manufacturing and exports.
black, and
That may
every
be
other
harder than
color
expected,
of
with pauses
fascism.
on Washington's so-called
They are all
reciprocal levies due to
fascists.
expire on July the 9th.
American
Once close
fascism,
trading partners left to wonder on which
Chinese
side of
fascism,
the US's new
Russian
unpredictability
fascism,
they'll fall.
Iranian
So,
fascism,
how are the markets then today?
etc.,
Well, global stock
etc.,
markets appear to have taken a
etc.
breather
In all the
after 2
African
days of
countries,
big moves as
fascism.
investors continue to monitor a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Wall Street shares ended the day pretty flat, with all
Does
three
it have
indexes
anything
hanging
about
near
the
their
Israeli
closing
fascism?
highs. The Dow Jones ended slightly in the red. The Nasdaq made small gains, as you can see. In the oil
Israeli
market, crude
fascists
prices
fighting
somewhat
with
stabilized
Iranian
after plunging
fascists.
around $10 a
It's
barrel
funny, really.
over the past 2 days. Both
And
Brent and the
oil,
WTI are up more
oil.
than 1%, but that are still well below
Oil.
where they were
It's
before
all
Israel
about
launched
the
initial attacks
oil.
on Iran on June the 13th. And that's it
It's
from the
all
business
about
desk.
the oil.
Thanks
You
so much
drive an
for
electric
all of
car.
that. Up next, it's time for Truth or Fake with Catalina
Is
Marshall.
anybody asking where the electricity comes from?
Kalina, you're taking us back to one of our top stories this evening. The Israeli military is claiming that they have destroyed the Israel Doomsday Clock, so-called, displayed in Tehran. Truth or fake?
Well, conflicting versions on this one, Sharon. Let's begin with Israel's Defense Minister, Israel Katz, who announced late Monday on X that Israel Defense Forces had launched a powerful wave of airstrikes deep in the heart of Tehran, targeting what Israel describes as central regime's infrastructure and institutions of governmental repression. That including one symbolic target that Israel claims it destroyed, the so-called Destroy Israel Clock, or the Israel Doomsday Clock, located in Tehran's Palestine Square, counting down to the nation's end. A huge digital clock unveiled in 2017 in Tehran, displaying a countdown to the year 2040, the year when Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei predicted Israel would cease to exist. Following this announcement by Israel Katz, and now according to news reports on Israel, the notorious Doomsday Clock was severely damaged or blown up in the strikes in Tehran. As Israeli commentators, hosts, journalists are also spreading the news, claiming that Iran's Doomsday Clock for Israel just got obliterated in Tehran, a propaganda symbol, they say, declaring the Jewish state's impending destruction. As Israel's Channel 14 also claimed victory over the alleged destruction of the clock on X, saying, according to this Doomsday Clock, Israel will be destroyed in 2040. At this rate, it seems, the Iranian regime will be destroyed in 2025, as Israel has yet to show proof of the destruction of this clock, considering that, per this report by the Times of Israel, the Iranian regime tightly controls images showing the effects of Israel's airstrikes.
And Kalina, it seems that Tehran, though, has quite a different version of events. Tell us what you have been finding.
Well, despite and following Israel's claim that it destroyed the Israel destruction clock located in central Tehran, Iran's Mer news agency published what it says is a video showing the Doomsday Clock still ticking, with the title that translates in this report, Lies Online, Know the Source of Fake and False News and Images. The outlet claims that with this recent video of the Doomsday Clock was taken on the afternoon of June 23rd, the same day following Israel's announcement that it had destroyed the clock in an airstrike, along with what they say other regime targets and governmental repression units in the Iranian capital. This information was also relayed by Marwan Afal, a known Lebanese-Australian conservative journalist with over 2 million subscribers on X. He says Iran countdown to Israel destruction still ticking, as he continues to say that the display on the clock currently reads just over 5,569 days remaining until the destruction.
Excuse me, and how do you know if the Iranian nukes have been destroyed, really? If they have managed to make any nukes, and if they've really been destroyed? Not even the Americans know. And the Israelis are not so hot. Nobody knows yet.
That the digital Doomsday Clock is, in fact, in display, still ticking in Tehran's Palestine Square tonight, per independent verification here at France 24. And according to our correspondent's photo, here's a translation. The clock displays today, on June 25th, 5,566 days remaining, which is coherent with the 5,569 days displayed 3 days before, on Monday, the day of the presumed Israeli strike, and video published by Iranian.
They both play propaganda with
Kalina,
the
thank you for all of that. That's
Doomsday
Kalina
Clock.
Marchant-Abreu with tonight's Truth or Fake. Well, that's it from us for now. Do stay with us, though, for more world news.
Bye-bye. The Doomsday Clock is still counting. Anyway, it's not Iran the problem. It's others who have the real nukes. America, China, Russia, Pakistan, India, the most dangerous.